What kind of impact or insights we can get for it, I'll quickly take you through 4 examples. If you're seen in the newspapers reports saying 80% of engineers in India are not employable, we are the bad guys who publish those reports and say that 80% engineers are not employable. So using these assessments and looking at data on scale, and this is based on 150,000 engineers, so it's not a small sample. We track employability, and we can say what is the employability in different domains. Another example, if you go down, what kind of impact the industry can see on using these assessments? Why should they use these assessments? You can see that for a company which was hiring salespeople, if they use their assessments, their high performers go from 36% to 61%. So that's the kind of impact the industry can see on using such automated assessments and again doing data science to come here. There's a third example here, which is where we used data on the web. This is not, by the way, Hillary versus Trump graph, though there's some correlation to that right here. Basically, what it is saying is that these are the states which are in blue, which have more customer service jobs and require customer centricity or agreeableness. And the states in orange are the ones which require finger dexterity, which is like more motor skill jobs. So this is an example where you pick up data from the web and do analysis on it to get insights. And if you see what AMCAT has done, a lot of more tier 2 college students now get jobs through AMCAT versus how many of them got in the open market. How am I doing on? Okay. I think data science is a great opportunity for India. You know, and let me quickly say why. There are 6 points to qualify it. It is leading disruptive innovations in the coming decade. I think we have seen several examples. So it is something which will influence our lives, business, and economy in a huge way in the coming decade. It's a necessary element to solve local problems. If you look at Irene's presentation, an example of how they could figure out where to open schools or even close schools and libraries, or what books to send, it really helps in that. It's leading to new scientific results not known before. We've already seen the example of genomics and genetics out there. It does not require expensive infrastructure, so you can do it on a laptop. You can use Amazon Web Services if you want more processing power. And the primary skills it needs is computer science and mathematics, which Indians know how to do. Right? So if you put all these reasons together, it is something which is very ideal for us to pursue at this point. I wrote an article for Mint a couple of months back where I said that, hey, India can be the data science service provider of the world. So we've been the IT services provider of the world for 2 decades. And we are moving from the age of IT or digitization to the age of understanding this data now. And we can look at ourselves and ask the question that can we provide the world the army of data engineers and data scientists it needs? And the question is yes. But if I ask you this question, I understand there are a lot of people from universities that do you have a data science course? I think the answer would be no. I would say that how many people do you have here who understand databases, computer programming, and statistics? I think it will be very, very minuscule. So that's our challenge to get into this era. Some of the efforts we have been making on the data science ecosystem, and this is my last slide out here, we think that data science is becoming a horizontal skill. I think I've talked enough about it. Like in the 90s, what happened that anyone who knew computers would do better in their own job, right? Similarly, anyone who knows data science will do better in their own job, and more in the next 5 to 10 years, you'll see that any job would say you need to have data understanding. So we said, can we teach students of class 5th to 8 data science? And we did 4 to 5 camps in India and the US, and we can. So please go ahead and see datasciencekids.org. We want more and more of these camps to be replicated around the world and hopefully lead to an education program in data science spanning schools and colleges. We have an initiative called machinelearningindia.org, which is trying to bring the ecosystem together. Just citing one of the challenges here, why a lot has to be done. So if you look at all the technical papers published in India, in top machine learning conferences, Tsinghua University in China alone publishes more than that every year. So in India, all our IITs, IIScs, and all the colleges which publish research papers in top machine learning conferences, Tsinghua University in Beijing alone publishes more. So that's the challenge we are looking at when we're talking about data science in the future of India. And remember, it won't go like IT services. Data science services will be innovation driven. If we can't do innovation, we'll not be there. We took up an initiative called Data Angels, where we said we'll fund companies who are using data and AI to build stuff. Funding for that is still low in India. You can go to mlindia.org and look at it. And another small initiative was to release data sets. So in fact, you can get a data set on our research website of our assessment data and job data and do various kinds of analysis. There are people at Harvard Kennedy School who have done analysis on it, and Dublin Institute of Technology, and many more. So let me conclude by saying big opportunity, big challenges, and a lot more to do. And I think this is the right audience to take some of those steps. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Varun. So all of us would have agreed that we learned a little bit more about big data, thanks to Vincent and Amir and Varun from Aspiring Minds. I guess one thing to, thank you very much. To sum up the whole thing is that data science is there. It sounds scary because all of us are reduced to a data. Even our cell is reduced to a data, yeah? Some things that we can't see is reduced to a data. Problem solving is dependent on data. But a few key points that are, I would like to sum from the speakers is, the data is only good enough to solve the problems if those data have 4 elements, which it has enough volumes to certify, to sort of make sure that it's a valid sample set. It's the same thing as conventional collections of data in terms of statistics. If we only have 10 n is equal to 10 and n is equal to 100 in statistics, obviously n equal to 100 is more valid. And same thing in terms of variety of data, whether or not it encompasses the entire society, that's also an important point, and velocity as well as veracity. So GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. If your data quality is good, then the solutions that they will provide is good as well. In the education sector, in the government sector, in the corporate sector, everything is, your problems can be resolved using data. But the way you process data, it depends on how you ask those questions and how you process them. As some of the speakers have mentioned, it could be as simple as using Excel sheet. It could be as complex as using Amazon. But at least if we start with the first set, by collecting those data right now, then maybe 2 to 3 years down the line, we'll be able to solve bigger problems. Varun mentioned a very interesting point that India could be the center of the future data science, and he made a comparison with China. Well, it's not a competition, it's collaborations. Data is floating all over the places. If we could collaborate all those data and combine them together, we could solve the world's problems. So let us all here put our hands together for all the 3 speakers, and let's collect the data together. Thank you.